and then we call this 0.0. That should be electron volts. So what's the question on that? That's the diagram anyway. So the diagram you can write there. The diagram above illustrates the energy transition of 5 electrons of an atom. Full stop. Use the information to answer the following question. Question A there. Which of the transition will produce the emission of longest wavelength? Can you see that? They say which of the transition will produce the emission of longest wavelength? B. Which of the transition will produce the emission? Which of the transition will produce the emission? Can you see that now? So I believe that you can have the idea of that. Now let's solve that. The question together for that number one. Now the number one is asking us that which of the transition, question A, which of the transition will produce the emission of longest wavelength? For you to know the transition, like from this diagram, that will produce the what? That will produce the emission of longest wavelength. You must know that the smallest change in energy level, will produce the longest wavelength. Do you understand that? That is the smallest change in energy level will produce the longest wavelength. Is that taking the energy transition? But that means before we can know the one that will produce the longest, what are they saying? The longest, okay. The one that will produce the transmission that will produce the emission of longest wavelength. You know that the smallest change in energy level will do that. Now let's see that from the diagram. Transition from here to here is what? We check the transition of one. We check one move from here to here. I get it. That this is the upper to the lowest. I get that. So that means change in energy level. You still know that that will now be what? 0.0 minus 2.6 minus 2.6. Is that again? So this should now be equal to 0.0. That will be plus 2.6. So that will now be equal to 2.6 electron volts. Can you see that? That will be the energy change from this to this. Now the second one we are talking about this. I'm coming. So now that's for changing this. Now let's see change in from here to here. That should be 2. Let's say 2. And that should now be equal to what is this is the highest. That means this is the lowest. Will still be what? 0.0 minus into minus 5.7. That will also be equal to 0.0 plus what? Plus 5.7. That will be the same thing as 5.7 electron volts. Can you see that? Then let's see this. We've done this, remain this. So that will be 3. Changing 3. That will be from this. That will be minus 2.6. Minus 2.6. Yes. Minus into bracket minus 12. Point what? 0. So from here you can have minus 2.6. That will be plus 12.0. That will now be equal to. Let's check that. That's minus. That will be minus 2.6. That will be plus 12. Plus 12. That will be 9.4 electron volts. That will be 9.4 electron volts. That's for the transition from here to here. Then the transition from here to here. That should now be what? That will be 4. Transition for 4. That should be 0.0 minus. Then into what? Minus 12.0. That will also be what? 0.0 plus what? Plus 12.0. Right? So at the end of the day, that will now be what? 12.0 electron volt. So as you can see, you've calculated for the what? For the O transition, but the question is asking you to find the what? To find the transition with the what? With the longest wavelength, that is with the highest wavelength. I get it now. So I need to take note of this. Take note of this. Smallest change. Smallest change. Now smallest change in energy level. Smallest change in energy level must be equal to the highest frequency. That will be highest frequency. So at the end of the day, the highest frequency will now be equal to, which has the smallest change. Let's see this. This is 2.6 electron volt, 5. 9 this. That means this should be the answer. That will now be 2.6 electron volts. That will be the answer. Is that okay? So that's the concept you need to master. You need to master that. When you are talking about the highest frequency in an energy level, the highest frequency in an energy level must be equal to the smallest change in energy level. Take note of that. So that's for that. Then question B. Question B. Okay, let's see question B. What is the question B? They say which of the transition will produce. Okay, that question is not right. That question should be which of the transition will produce the emission. We produce the emission of, I think we produce the emission of longest. We produce the emission of highest frequency. That question should be that. That question should be which of the transition will produce the emission of highest frequency. You know, we talk about the longest wavelength, then highest frequency. So when you are talking about the highest frequency, you need to have it at the back of your mind also. That is the highest change in energy level. That is the highest change in energy level will produce the what? Will produce the highest frequency. Is that taken? Will produce the highest frequency. So let's see this. Let's see this. Let me rub up. I don't need to rub up this. So okay, let me quickly change this, please, because you don't need to do the calculation again. You know it. So another note that you need to know, that is when you have the highest. That's B. That's question B. Highest change. Highest change. Highest change in highest change. Oh, highest change in energy. Highest change in energy level. Energy level must be equal to the highest. Must be equal to the highest what? Must be equal to the highest frequency. Take note of that. That's another important key thing there. That is when you are talking about the highest change in energy level is equal to the highest. It will be not that we produce the highest frequency. That is, perhaps FIS should now be equal to, then what will be the FIS? 2.5.9. Then this will be the highest frequency. That will be 12.0 hertz. Electron volt, that's 12 point that. So that is for that. That's for that. Do you understand that? That will be still what? Electron volt. So that is for that. I hope you understand. That's two important key things there. That is, when you have the highest change in energy level, produce highest frequency. Then when you have the smallest change in energy level, then it will produce the lowest wavelength.